Okay, Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back. We are back in Masechet Sanhedrin. We're on the ninth, parak, right? Elon Nisrafin. This is Nisrafin. We already saw the ones who get burnt. We already saw the ones who get hereg. We're middle of the chapter of. We're middle of the topic of those who get sayef, the sword. One of them being the person who kills, a murderer. So now we continue in the hilchot of who is classified as a murderer and when can we give him the punishment of the sword. So we're starting the Mishnah on the bottom of 7884. So Ayin Het Amud Aleph on the last three lines. And the new Mishnah says the Holy Mishnah, Hamakeh El Havero, if a person hits another individual, a Jew, Ben be'even, ben be'egro, whether with a stone, with a stone or his fist. We use these words because the pasuk uses these words. That says if a man hits another man, be'even or be'egro. But the Rambam says, Lava, it's not necessarily just a stone or a fist. Anything that's similar to that causes someone else damage. And they assess him after he gets hit by the attack. He's not dead yet, but they're going to assess him to see what is the way the Chazon Ish is going to learn this is what is the statistical. Most people get hurt with this type of hit. Do they live? Do they not? First of all, who is doing this assessment? Rashi says clearly it is not doctors, rather it is the Bet Din. It's the Dayonim that are doing this. She'ein lismoch al harofoim al haroifim. That's the way they explain Rashi in the Shalos Tshuva Yehuda Ya'aleh. He brings further that Rambam agrees to this. The Rambam writes that we don't bring him to any dayan, any judge. Rather, to bring him to a judge that's balei dea meruba, who has a lot of knowledge. Yodim kitzat mishar chachmaot, and he understands some of the other wisdoms in the world. Kagain refuah. For example, he knows medicine, and he has to be bikim bechelik zeh shel chachmat harefuah. And he should know how medicine works so he can be able to assess, is this person going to live? Is this person going to die? So this guy was brought in, and looks like the Dayanim who are well-versed in medicine, they come and they say, he is going to die. Most people who hit by this type of hit are going to die in his type of person. Okay? Now, so they say he's going to die, but what happens is, and all of a sudden, he gets a little bit better. Made a bracha. So he gets a little bit better. Then and then after he guys started to get a little better, he got worse and he died. So our Mishnah says Hayab. He's still Hayab Mita. This is the opinion of the Tanakama, the first opinion in the Mishnah. It's the opinion of the Rabbanim. And we're going to see the Rambam paskins like this, like the stam, like the anonymous opinion in the Mishnah. That's the way B'derech Klal Rambam paskins. So Hamakeh Chaveroi, right? So this case is Hayav. Rabbi Nehemiah Omer. Rabbi Nehemiah says Patur. No, he's Patur. Why? Because if he got better, it must be that he got better from the initial attack. And now that he is dying, it's not related to the initial attack. Rather, it's happening afterwards. Something else happened. We said maybe on Shabbat, we said maybe he was in the hospital and he had a hospital-acquired infection, right? Stuff that happened in the walls of the hospital, all sorts of diseases. Maybe it came into him and he, because of that, he died. Therefore, he's going to be potter. Sheraglayim l'davar, as there are feet to this word, meaning there's support to this opinion. Rashi says this word, reglayim l'davar, is going to Rabbi Nehemiah. It's going to Rabbi Nehemiah. Rabbi Nehemiah says that it is potter. Interestingly enough, the Rambam, when he brings down the halacha, the Rambam writes as follows: I'm doing misa. If they assessed him that he's going to die, and he got a little bit better. And afterwards, he got worse and he died. You kill this person, the guy who initially attacked him. We don't do a second assessment kishahaka when he got a little bit better. Why? Because there is support. The feet to the word, meaning there's support, there's proof that the fact that he died must be because of the initial attack. So the Rambam understands the Reglaim Davar going on the Tanakama, who says that he's Chayav, and he paskins like that. So the Meiri, interestingly enough, the Meiri had a different girsa. The Meiri had a version of the Mishnah that actually makes sense according to the Rambam. The Meiri's girsa was, what was it? I'll read it to you right now. Here's the Meiri's girsa. The Meiri's girsa was this was the way the Mishnah was read. Mishnah said the case, and then it said before it said the word Hayav, like we have Hayav, the Tanakama's opinion. According to Meiri, that's not the way the Mishnah was written. The case was given, and then it said Rabbi Nehemiah Patur. Rabbi Nehemiah says it is Patur. The Chachamim mechayivim. The Chachamim saying they're Hayav shiraglayim ladavar, because there is support to their proof to the Chachamim saying that because the guy died, he must have died because of the initial attack. The fee zeh raglayim ladavar. Okay, and so possibly. That's how the Rambam had the girsa. The Rambam had the girsa of the Mishnah, the version of the Mishnah, and that's why he writes also Reglaim Ledovar according to the Chachamim's opinion. Okay, now that we did the Mishnah, we continue into the Gemara. Let's get back into the Gemara here. Tanu Rabbanon et Zu Darash Rabbi Nechemiah. Why does Rabbi Nechemiah hold? Now, we don't pass like Rabbi Nechemiah, but we have to understand his opinion. So Rabbi Nechemiah holds that if the guy got a little bit better and then he died afterwards, well, guess what? It wasn't the person who hit him, and the guy who hit him, it is Potter. Where does he get this from? Okay, there is a pasuk. And we're going to see this psukim in full, but for now, take a look at the pasuk into our Yerushalmi. The guy got up and he went outside, right? This is talking after a pasuk that says that if the guys were fighting and one of them got hit, right? Shemos 21, 18 and 19. He didn't die and he fell on his bed. If he gets up, he goes outside. Al Mishanto. I don't know what the word Al Mishanto means right now, but Al Mishanto. He goes outside Al Mishanto, on his Mishanto. The Nikahamake, went outside and he's better. So then Nikahamake, the guy who hit him is Potter. Rak Shivta, you tell him to put your pay. Give him the other 5 payments for his embarrassment, for the doctor fees, for the lack of work, whoever the 5 payments are. Okay. Now, so what does Rabbi Nechemiah say? Rabbi Nechemiah says, it says, if he goes outside and he walks, meaning he walks, Al Mishanto, Vini Kahamakem, the guy who hit him is going to be Potter. Now, could it be, makes no sense, that it should be, this pasuk is telling you if this guy is perfect and he's go outside, he's Potter. Because that is pashut. Everybody, you don't even pasuk to tell me that. If I hit this guy and this guy continues with his life and he dies later on, it's not my fault. The guy was fine. So it can't be. Can it ever be in your mind that this guy goes into the marketplace, he goes into business, does his stuff, and he dies, and then you're going to blame it on the guy who hit him whenever it was, a long time ago? No. Rather, what is this pasuk talking about? What's the pasuk talking about? This is the guy gets hurt and they bring him to the hospital and they say he's going to die. The Yonim say he's going to die. And he gets a little bit better. And Al Mishanto, according to this, the Yad Ramo explains, means on his cane. With assistance, he's able to walk outside in the shul. And then he dies after he goes outside on his cane with assistance. Then he dies. Who Potter? The guy who hit him is Potter, because Al Nishanto means on his cane with assistance, and he was able to get a little bit better and go outside with the assistance. So now the guy who hit him is Potter, because that's the way he's learning the pasuk Al Nishanto. Rabbanan, but the Rabbanan don't hold Al Nishanto means on the cane. The Rabbanan, like the Rambam, like Unclus, and in the pasuk, the way Unclus translate the words Al Nishanto means the guy is healthy. And the Rambam defines that as being a guy who, like everyone else, can walk in the marketplace on his own, right? So they say the pasuk is telling me only if the guy can walk out in his own, then he is Potter. So then what do they do? So but you don't need to teach me that halacha, because you don't need to teach me that the guy is Potter, because obviously if the guy walks outside on his own, then of course you're not going to punish the other guy. So why do I need the words vini kohamakeh? So Melamed, they learn a different chiddush here. Melamed shechoshvin oto. That what? We put the guy in jail. What does this mean? If he hits someone and they bring that guy into the hospital and the Dayanim come and they say, oh, it looks like he's going to die, they don't just right away go and kill the guy and say, because we think he's going to die, they're going to kill the perpetrator, the guy who hit him. No, they don't do that. What they do instead is they put this guy into jail and then they watch to see what will happen to his victim. And if his victim succumbs to death, then they kill the perpetrator. But if he survives and he gets better and he's able to walk outside on his own, then they don't kill this guy. He has to pay damages and other stuff. They don't kill him. So that we learn from the words vinikahamake, that there could be a time where he becomes clean from his sin of hitting him if the guy gets better. Okay, so that's what they learn from the words vinikahamake. You put the guy in jail. Where does he learn that you have to put the guy in jail to see what's going to happen? Because he can't learn it from Nikah Makeh. Why? Because Nikah Makeh was to tell us that if the guy got a little bit better, then the guy who hit him initially is off the hook. But he can't use that also to teach me put him in jail. So where do you learn that you have to put the guy who we think might die, we put his attacker in jail until we see what happens. So where do we know from? Yalif Mimikoshesh. Oh, there was a guy in the desert, right? Someone want to say, or Kibi wants to say, it was Tzalachad, right? That he collected sticks on Shabbat. He was Mikoshesh, and they didn't know what to do with him, so they put him in jail. So there we learn if we don't know what to do with the guy, we don't know if he's going to die, live or die, we put him into jail. Yalif Mimikoshesh, Verabonon. But the rabbis say, oh, so the rabbis, Nami Leifem Mikoshesh. So the rabbis, why do you need a pasuk v'nikam? I can't learn it also from the Mikoshesh, the gatherer of sticks. Where it says Mikoshesh bar kitalahu. No, everybody knew the Mikoshesh is Hayab Mita. Because we already learned, the Torah Hashem already told us that someone who's Mechal Shabbat, he has to die. Moshe's question, the reason why Moshe put him into jail was in order to know how to kill him. Hashem didn't tell him to do skila. We didn't know yet to do skila. But our case can't be compared. There, by the case of the Mikoshesh, we knew he was a dead man. We just didn't know how to kill him. But here, the guy who hit him, we don't know if we're going to kill him yet. We have to see what's going to happen. So it's not the same type of case. So Rabbi Nechemia, you cannot learn it from Mikoshesh. So where does Rabbi Nechemia learn it from? So Rabbi Nechemia, Yalef Migadev. He learns it from the Migadev. There's another guy that we have, the son of Shlomit Bat Divri, right? Her son curses Hashem. He's Migadev. And they didn't know what to do with this guy. So they didn't know if to kill him or not, and they threw him into jail till they figure it out. So Rabbanon, so this is the case where they didn't know if the guy was deserving of death or not. But Rabbanon say, no, a different story. Megadev, guy cursing Hashem, Hora'at Sha'ah Haita. We didn't know at all what to do with this guy. Therefore, we threw him into prison to figure it out. Here, we know what to do with this guy. We're just trying to see it's just a weight game. It's a protocol. There, we put this guy into prison, not because of protocol, rather because we didn't know what to do. We had no protocol. Therefore, we put him into jail. But in our case, the protocol is put him into jail until we see what happens to that fellow. So therefore, the cases cannot be compared. Now, Kiddatanya. So according to the Rabbanon, is not a good spot to learn it from. The Kiddatanya. Seems to be that the Nechemia would hold this way. That he would say it's fine. You can learn from Mikadeh. The Chum say no. It looks like that's the way they learn it in the end. But anyway, the Braita continues. Kiddatanya. Yodei Moshe Rabbeinu Hashem Mekoshesh b'mita. Moshe knew that Mekoshesh gets mita. Shenamar because it's in Parshas Kitisa Mechalei Amot Yumat. The guy who Mechal Shabbat kill him. Eloi Dabe Ezer mita. He didn't know how to kill him. Shenamar Kilo Forash because it says that they didn't explain. Ma Yaseh Lo. Right? They didn't know what to do with him, how to kill him. But Avo Megadev Lo Namar Bo Ela. Doesn't say they lifrosh lahem al pi Hashem. It says over there they were waiting for Hashem to explain what to do. Not that they knew he had to die. They didn't know at all. Didn't know if he was supposed to die or not. Now, before we move on, one last point. The Al Kitrimoni asks a question and says, 1 second. Didn't Har Sinai happen already? And in Har Sinai, all the Torah was given with all the halachot. So how are you telling me you don't know? So the Al Kitrimoni says, it must be that these cases, right? There's no mukta and mukhar in the Torah, no chronological order in the Torah. And there must be that these cases happened before Har Sinai, because Shabbat was already given to us before Har Sinai. So it's possible we knew the guy had to die, just didn't know how. And the Megalith must have happened also before Har Sinai, because otherwise we would have known exactly, because everything was given in Har Sinai. Okay, fine, that's the Al Kitrimoni. Now, Bish Lema LeRebbe Nechemia. What are we going into now? If you want to take a look in the article, they did a beautiful job in note 17. It brings down the two psukim we were talking about before. People are fighting and they hate one another. All right, we saw the stone or the fist. That's what the mission uses that lashon. Below Yamut, and he doesn't die. But not for the mishkav, and he falls in his bed. Im yakum b'chutz al mishanto. If he goes outside on his mishanto, v'nikah makeh, the guy who hit him is he doesn't have to be killed. Rak shifto yitem v'rapo yirape. All right, he gives him lost time from pay, and he provides him for the money for the healing. So the note continues to explain, based on Rashi, what it could have said to explain these halachos was, when he goes to bed, meaning he doesn't die, so then you give him the lost wages and you give him the money for the doctor's bill. Why is this words velo yamut and he doesn't die? If you tell me he's going into bed, it means he's not dying. So why are you using the words velo yamut? And then what's this whole thing of im yakum v'talech b'chutz al mishanto? Why do I need all these extra words? They're not needed to explain the basic understanding of those psukim. So, according to Nechemia, you know why you need these two extra phrases in these psukim to teach us that you have to make two assessments. What's this two assessments? One assessment, if they assess him to die and then he lives, right? That's one assessment that we have to make. And the second one, which they said he's going to die, then he got a little bit better, and then he died. In these two cases, you're going to do a second assessment, and you're going to say, you know what? Since he got better, and now he died afterwards, not related to the first one, therefore just pay the things, and you're not chayav mita el rabbanan. But according to the rabbis, they don't hold of this case if he gets a little bit better. If he gets a little bit better, you're not chayav mita anymore. They don't hold like that. If he got a little better, but then he died, you're still chayav mita. So what do they do with these extra psukim? What I need is two assessments. Ooh, there's two types of assessments. One is when they say he's going to die and he lives. Then what do we say? We don't kill him right away. We keep him in prison, see if he lives, then we let him go. He has to pay the other damages. Ooh, there's another case. If they say this guy, they bring him to the hospital, and the doctors and the judges, they come and they say the guy is going to live. And then what happened? He died. So what do we say? Oh, they made a mistake, and really it was because they hit him, and maybe we should kill him? No. They said l'chaim, and then he died. Must be not related to his wound, and therefore the guy is not hayav mita. That's what we learned from the second umdane. That's what we learned from the second assessment. There's two cases of assessment: one the hayim, one the mit. Not both for mita, and one gets completely better, and one gets partially better. Rather, one is the mita, one is the hayim. But Ibn Nehemiah, where does he learn this case? Ibn Nehemiah, where does he learn this case that if he said Allah, he's going to live, and then he died, that he's not hayim mita? Amdu al-hayim b'met lo tzarich kira, right? Sharei yatsa mebedin zakai. Says, whoa. You don't need a pasuk to teach me that. Says Ibn Nehemiah. Why? If Bedin says he's going to live, I mean, that's their verdict that he's going to live, and my attack had nothing to do with it. So the fact that he died, the Betin already said that I was zakai, that I will not be punished for this case. That's what Nehemiah looks like. And based on this, Chazon Ish says it must be that the Rabbanan say that when the Dayanim come and give their assessment in the beginning, it must be that they're not saying that this is the way it's going to be, that this is the din, right? Because the Rabbanan saying you need a pasuk to teach me this, so it must be it's not a din. Rather, we're saying it's statistically speaking, most people his size, his age, his health who get hit like this survive, right? And the fact that he dies, it could be related afterwards, but since we assessed him the hayim, he does not be hayab mitah. But it's based on a statistic, not based on a din. Okay, let's do a little more, and then we'll look at the Rambam, who sums up this sugya and gives us the halachot that we need. Tanya Rabbana, another braita like Rabbi Nehemiah, hamaketa havero, v'ahmadu lemita. The guy hit his friend, and the judge's assessment he's going to die. V'hayan, he lived potrinoto. Then we don't punish him. He's acquitted because he didn't kill him. Amadu lemita. If they said he was going to die and then he got slightly better, so at that time they make a calculation to see how much money they owe him for the damages. And if he dies after he got a little bit better, not completely better, they go after the second calculation, and it means that that they pay and they don't get killed for that. These are the words of Nehemiah. The first assessment is the only assessment. And if he gets better and he dies again, he gets a little better and then he dies. He can't die again. If he gets a little bit better and then he dies, then it's based on the first assessment and this guy hit him and he should have died, and therefore the guy is hayab mitah. Okay, Tana idach. So another baita. Amadu mitah. They assess him that he's going to die. We can still say that he's going to live. I mean, if they say he's going to die, they can still say that he's going to live. Lechaim, but if they say that once they say he's going to live, then we cannot switch it to mitah, right? Once we say the guy is going to live, and now we come back an hour later and say, oh no, he's going to die. No, now we cannot punish that guy anymore with mitah. If they said he was going to die and then he got a little bit better, they make a second assessment for Mammon. And afterwards he died. You give the money to his inheritors, right? His Yorshim. When do you what calculation do you use? From when he was hurt first and when they brought him into the hospital, and that's the time from when he was functional until he was hurt very badly, or do we say from the time he got a little bit better? So basically, so it's lesser money. We say no, from the time that he was initially hurt. So when he first got hurt and brought to the hospital right away, it was a bigger difference in his functionality. So the assessment of money would be more. That's how much they have to pay. And who is this opinion? Like Ustama Nechemia, and it's a stam opinion in the Mishnah, and that is the opinion, the stam opinion in this Braita, and it's the opinion actually of Rabbi Nechemia. Let's take a look at the Rambam. Sums up the sugya with the halachot that we need. Hamaked haverom be'eben or be'egrof v'chayotza behead, or anything similar to a stone or a fist, right? Omdin oto. They are going to, what's it called? They're going to check, right, to see if he's going to die. If they say he's going to live, he gives the 5 payments, right? He gives the 5 payments, and that's it. He's done with the case. And even after they say he's going to live, he got much worse and he died. And they know because of the wound, he's still patur, because once they the hayim, you cannot go back. If they brought in the guy and they said, oh, he's going to die, what do? They go and they bring the perpetrator and they throw him into prison right away. And now we wait. If the guy he hit, the victim, dies, then you kill the guy, right? You do the death sentence for the guy who hit him. If he gets a little better, and he gets completely better, and he goes on his feet, like the other healthy people. So then he just gives him the 5 payments, and that's it. You don't kill him because the guy's back to completely normal. Al mishanto, meaning like unclis, completely healthy. Doing mita, if they say he's going to die, and he got a little better, and then he got worse and he died. So you do give the haya, you do give the punishment of mita to his perpetrator, the guy who hit him. You don't make a second assessment. Because there is proof to his word, because of the blow, the hitting, that's why he died. Okay? And that sums up our whole sugya that we had up until now. So let's move on to the next Mishnah. Okay? Let's look at the next Mishnah. The next Mishnah deals with interesting case. Let's take a look at them. And let's look at the halacha as well. Okay. Nitkaven laharog et behema v'harag et ha'adam. Guy wanted to kill an animal and kill the person instead. Kill the Jew instead. Right? If you kill an animal, you're not hayav mita. Kill a Jew, you are. He wanted to kill a guy which is not hayav mita, and he ended up killing a Jew. Hayav mita. He wanted to kill a baby who wouldn't survive anyway, which he's not hayav mita because it wasn't considered alive, and he ended up killing a baby who would survive. So he did kill a real person. In all these cases, patur. He's going to be patur. Rashi says, you know why? Because the warning was hasra suffix. You told the guy, be careful. You might kill the animal, but you might kill a person instead. Right? Hasra suffix doesn't work. Problem with that, because we pass like Rabbi Yochanan that hasra suffix does work. A warning of the suffix that maybe does work. Someone explained that even Rabbi Yochanan here would say hasra suffix doesn't work because most cases we say if you do, usually hasra suffix is like this. If you do the action you're about to do like this, you might be liable to mita or not. But here we're saying there are two objects here. Depending on which one you hit, you might be liable. Maybe that hasra suffix doesn't work. If it's the same action, we say we're not sure if you're chayav mita or not for that same action. Maybe that hasra suffix, that's what Yochanan says, it does work. Where in here, perhaps when it's two different actions, maybe the hasra suffix doesn't work for that. However, most other Rishonim understand this to be an issue of lack of kavanah. In order to be hayav mita, you have to have the proper kavanah. You want to see the halacha is you have to say, I want to kill this guy, right? And by his name. And if you don't do that, you can never hayav mita. So here, in all these cases, the guy's kavanah was somewhere else. Okay? And therefore, it doesn't work. So what therefore is going to be patur from mita from bedin. Obviously, Shemayim will take care of him. He killed somebody. But patur from bedin. Nitkaven lahakoto al motnav. Someone wanted to hit someone in his motnav, in his loins. Okay? And he was going to hit him with not enough strength to kill him. But it landed on his chest instead. And it wasn't enough to kill him. Right? So he wanted to hit him somewhere else. And not enough to kill him, but it hit him in his heart, and it wasn't enough to kill him. Patur. He is patur. If you wanted to strike him on his chest, and he was going to kill him, it's going to be enough of a punch to kill him. And it went on his loins. And it was not strong enough to kill the fellow. And he died anyway. Patur. Right? Take a look at note 1. They tell you the two things you need to be hayav mita. First thing, you have to intend to commit murder. Your blow has to be that I'm hitting him with enough strength to kill him. And second, you have to what you actually did had to have killed him. So two things. What you did, they're intended to commit murder, okay? And what you have to intend to commit murder, and then what you did actually have to have caused the murder. If you're missing one of those steps, then you cannot be hayav mita. Nitkaven lahakot et hagadol. Someone wanted to hit a gadol, but it wasn't enough to kill the gadol. But his punch went on a minor, and it was enough to kill the katan. And the katan died. Potter, okay, because he wasn't intending to kill. He ended up killing, but he wasn't in his intention, so he's potter. He wanted to hit a katan. And there was enough to kill a katan. And went on a gadol. And it wasn't enough to kill the gadol. But maybe the gadol died anyway, potter, because he didn't end up killing the gadol, because his punch wasn't strong enough to kill him. He wanted to hit him in the loins. And it was enough to kill him in his loins. And he went on his heart. And he died. Hayab. Why? He wanted to kill him. He was going to kill him on a different part of his body, right? And it was strong enough to kill him on that part of the body, and also was strong to kill him in the part where he actually hit him in his heart. And therefore he actually wanted to kill him, and he ended up killing him. So he's Hayab. Same thing. If he was going to punch a gadol and kill him through his punch, and it was strong enough to do that, and then it went on a katan, and he ended up killing the katan, so he killed the guy, and his intention was to kill. So he's Hayav, according to the Mishnah, according to the Tanakama in the Mishnah. But the halacha is not like this Tanakama. The halacha is like the next line. The Bishimon Omer. If the person said, I want to kill Reuven, and then he kills Shimon, he's patur, because it's not his kavanah to kill Shimon. It has to be kavanah, and you have to have done it. It has to be kavanah for this guy. Now, Rabbi Shimon says, patur. Where is Rabbi Shimon talking about? Rabbi Shimon Ahai, which case he talking about? If he is going at the end of the Mishnah, then it should have said Rabbi Shimon poter. Rabbi Shimon says poter. That's all it should have said. Why does it say afilu nitkaven laharog etzeh barag etzeh patur ela aresha? It's going at the beginning part of the Mishnah that says nitkaven laharog et habehema barag adam lo ovek kochavim barag et Israel lenifalim barag et ben kaima. In all these cases is patur. Why? Hanitkaven laharog etzeh barag etzeh hayav. Because if you intend to kill one person, but you ended up killing someone else, that's chayav according to the Tanakama. But Shimon Omer, patur. It's going to be patur. Pshita, Shimon. Of course, this is a case where he was thinking, Rabbi Shimon, how does he explain this? If he was saying, I want to kill Reuven, anal Reuven kami kavaneh, Shimon lo kami kavaneh. So of course he's not going to be hayab because he was planning to kill Reuven and not Shimon. Hainu pilgatu, Amar lechad minohu. He says, "I'm going to kill one of them." Right, two guys are standing there. He says, "I'm going to kill one of them." Then what? My inami kisavur Reuven, but it's Shimon. Or he thinks, "Oh, this is Reuven," and he goes and he kills him and finds out that it's Shimon. Okay, and what about in these cases? How far does Rabbi Shimon go here? Tashma, the Tanya, Rabbi Shimon Omer, Ad Omar, he has to say, Lifloni anim kaven, I'm planning to kill this guy. Until he says, I'm planning to kill Reuven, planning to kill Shimon, he's not hayab with that. Can't punish him. You can't punish him. Now, my Tamad Rabbi Shimon, what's the reason Rabbi Shimon? Amakai says the pasuk, Va'arav lo vikam alav. It says he ambushed him and he rised against him. Achit kaven law. It has to be against that person. Okay. Now Rabbanan, the Tanakama, the Mishnah doesn't learn this way. So what do they do with this pasuk? Amre devere biyanai prat lezorek even lagoy. What's this case talking about? Throwing. Because you have to have kavanah to kill him. What case is this? Is about throwing a stone when there's a Jew amongst goyim. Hey Chidami, what's this case? If you say there were nine goyim, and one Jew amongst them, then obviously he's not going to be hayamita, even if he kills a Jew, because there were more goyim. Inami plaga palga, even if it's half and half, I would say you still don't get punished. Because we don't kill people out of doubt, right? So. You know what this pasuk is coming to teach me? That even if there is 9 Jews and 1 guy, but since they're all in their place, we have a din that is not just here, it's in all of halacha. especially comes up in kashrut when you have one non-piece of kosher meat with a bunch of kosher pieces of meat, right? And they're all in its place. We have something that's called kol kevua kemechta al mechta dami. Whenever there is something in its place, we don't say there's one amongst nine and there's a robe or whatever it is. We say we have to consider it half and half. So even if there's one Jew amongst nine goyim, or nine Jews amongst one guy, right? So 10 people on one of them is a guy. We don't say that the robe is Jews and he's chayav mitah for throwing the stone and killing a Jew. Rather, we say it's kamechta al mechta. It's like 50-50. And since Safit Nefashot Lahakel, we would not kill the Jew. That's what it means by he ambushed him and he planned to get up against him, according to the Chachamim. Now, why is it mechta? Mechta, this is going to be for a different time. There's when it's parish, when it separates, then you go into Roiv, into the majority, but not if it's kavua. Be'ez Hashem, we'll go into that at a different time. I don't want to get into mechta right now, but that is the halacha. What I want to do is the halacha of Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon said that unless you plan to kill this guy, you say, I'm going to kill this guy, you're not going to be hayav mitah. So let's take a look in the Rambam. Hamitkaven laharog etzeh, v'harag etzeh. The guy plans to kill Reuben and ends up killing Shimon. Patur b'mitat bedin, doesn't get killed b'mitat bedin. Umin hatashlumin, and he doesn't have to pay. Umin hagalut, and he's also patur from galut. Right? Because the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon. Okay, let's just take a look at another piece over here that says it as well. Another verse from the Rambam. Okay, nitzkaven lahakot chavero amotnav v'lo haya bekeli kedei lamit el motnav v'halchala ala even alibo v'haya bo kedei lamit alibo v'met o shetkaven lahakoto alibo v'haya bo kedei lamit alibo v'halchala amotnav v'lo haya bo kedei lamit al motnav v'met patur mita bedin ve'en goleh she'en hore bekavana goleh aval im nitkaven lahakoto amotnav v'haya bo kedei lamit amotnav v'halchala alibo v'met harezin hareg. Okay. Pasuk kedat in the Kesef Mishnah says the pasuk upasak kedat Rabbi Shimon, and he paskins the Rambam paskins like Rabbi Shimon in the Mishnah that you have to have kavanah to kill this guy. If you have kavanah to kill one guy, you end up killing someone else. You're part of mitat beitin. Although usually the halacha is like the first opinion in the Mishnah. Mikol makom kivan. Since later on we're going to see that Rava holds like Rabbi Shimon and Tenet Dvei Chizkiah, if he doesn't plan to kill this guy, he's patur. Because of Rava, who holds like this as well, who's a batra, who's a later opinion, therefore the halacha is like this. So it comes out that it's very hard to kill somebody for killing someone, because he has to say that I'm planning to kill this guy. Just want to read it in the English as well. If one intended to kill a Jew who was murdering, he is liable to be executed, instead kill another, he's exempt from liability to be executed by the court. Okay, so if one casts a stone into the midst of a group of Jews and kills one of them, he is exempt from execution by the court in accordance with the opinion of the rabbis. Okay. This is where we're going to stop for today. As Hashem, we'll continue next week. Shavua Tov, Lekulam.